The next two things we're going to do is we're going to create two buttons. And these buttons we will be using on our project overview page. This will be a button to start off a project, and we'll use a condition for that. And we'll also use a button that will be able to complete our project, which will use a loop. So let's get into it. First off, we're going to our project overview page. Because in this project overview page, I've got multiple projects, but I want to have some quick action buttons. We already have a delete button, but I want to add a button next to it that allows me to start off a project, because right now we have to click on the project, then update the form just to update the status. But we can also just implement a button that will update the status for us without us having to navigate to another page, doing more things than is necessary, basically. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab an action button from our button components and place it next to the delete button. And this action button will be our start of the project button. So we're going to call it start project. This start project button will start off our project via the action. So the thing that we need to give to the action is the project data. So the row of data that this button is in, it needs to provide to our action. So we've done everything on the page builder side. So now let's head into the action. I want to do something specific with this action because I want this action only to happen if someone has actually set the status, or if the status is actually on new. I don't want anyone to be allowed to press this button or to update the status if it's not new. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set a condition in my action. So I'm going to drag the condition event into my action, and here we see condition true or else. So normally true or false. So what I want is that the condition is going to check, is the status of this project new? Yes, okay, then we're going to do something. If it isn't, then we're not going to do anything. So in this case, we can say condition, select the variable, so set it to project, and create a filter rule. So as I said, we want the status to, be equal to new before something can happen. So project status is equal to new, apply. So status is equal to 1. In our case, 1, it's the first item on our list. So project status is equal to new before the condition is true. So in this case, our condition is true when this filter is applied. So right now, in this condition check, we can set the update event. So condition, true, update our project to status is in progress. So that means that after our condition check checks if something is true, it will allow the update to happen. And save. And here we go. Our action has been completed. So let's go back to our page to make it fully functional. Here we go, our start project button. After it has successfully updated, we also want this data table to refresh. So we're gonna implement a little interaction. So click on the button and we're gonna create the on action success interaction. So click on the start project button, go to the interactions option, and when something happens on the button, and in this case we want when the action success happens, we want a custom interaction to happen, and we want the data from data table, so the project data table, to be refetched so that it resets the data so that you know that it actually updated the status. If you want to know more about interactions, check out the last video in the page builder course. Else click along to create more interactions later on as well. So this is the first fully functional start project button. Right now we have the option to start a project, and I also would like to finish a project. But the finish project might be a little bigger because, well, this time we've put in a condition, and this condition event, well, you can't only use it for statuses, but you can use it for a lot more things. So if you need to make a calculation and you need to see if a date is above or below the 15th of August, for example, then you can do that with a condition as well. And for the second action, I am going to create a second action button. I'm going to place it next to the project button. And this is going to be my complete action, complete project button. Well, I'd like to have the buttons next to each other, preferably. So let me align them a little better. And there we go. And there we go. So now let's go to our button and let's finish this last button for our quick menu on our project overview page. So before we edit the action, we need to give some of the information of this project menu to our action, of course. So objects passed to action, select the project object and give it along to the action. So let's go to the action, click on the edit action button. And within this new action, I want to do a couple of more things. I want to set a condition that checks if the project status is set to in progress. If the project status is set to in progress, we're going to loop through all the tasks that are connected to this project so that we can finish the tasks that are connected to the project, and after that, we'll also complete the project. So let's first set that condition. So select the condition, grab the project variable, and filter on if the task or if the project status is equal to in progress. So let's apply this and continue into the action. So the next part is, after the condition is set to true, we're going to drag in a loop in the true event, because after this we want to loop through our project. So we're going to check if we want to loop through the collection. So as we see, we have a collection to select because we have one or more tasks beneath our project. So select project.tasks, and we have an iterator name. So for every loop that we're going through the tasks, we have a task, and I prefer to call this task underscore item, because then we know that we want to select a certain thing, one single task, so we have a task item. We save this, and right now in our task loop, we can work with these task items. And what we can do is we can update these items. So let's drag an update event in the loop, and we can select the task item. And from this task item, we're going to update a single thing, and that is the is complete. We're going to set the is complete for every task. Even if it is set to complete, we can rewrite it, because we're going to set everything to true, because that is what this finished project, what this complete project action does. So save. So let's close this. So right now we start the complete project action. We check, is the status set to in progress, yes or no? Yes, okay, then we're allowing you to finish it. We're first going to loop through all the tasks to finish them off. So one button that completes all our tasks for us. And after that, we're going to update the project itself. Let me drag it in. Select it, there we go. We're going to update the project itself to set the status. Here we go. So update project status to done. Save. And let's close this window. So right now we have the entire complete project action. It checks if it's in progress and allows us to do the rest, finishes all our projects, and updates the project to be done. So let's check out what it looks like in the page itself. And back to the project page we go. And then there's only one more thing we need to do, and that is set an interaction behind this complete project button. so that let's click on interaction, create the new interaction, more, so that on action success, we trigger a custom interaction that refetches our project data table so that everything looks nice and smooth when the project has been completed, of course. So let's test it out. Press compile or play. And let's check out project 3, because I know that this one has some finished tasks behind it. Project 2 is in progress already, so let's check out project 3. Okay, it's complete. Nothing's complete yet. Has 2 tasks. So let's click start project. Well, as you can see, waited, and the status turned to in progress. So that's cool. If I press it again, then it shouldn't work. Doesn't do anything, so that's nice at least. But then the final moment, that's gonna be complete project. So right now, if I click on this, here you can see that's still not in progress or not completed. So let's complete it. Status is done. And my 2 tasks are done as well. So that is our last action that has a condition and a loop in it, so that you also know how to apply those within this application. For our last action, we're going to create a bigger one that also does some checks and sends an email. So check that out.